Rick, I'm not going to
Just
fight.
get the hell up!
We're not going to fight about this.
How could you do this to my mother?
I didn't do anything to your mother.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you weren't up there kissing Kimberly, huh? You weren't up on stage making out?
Rick, it wasn't like that.
Oh, then how was it, Thorne?
It was Kimberly, okay? Rick, she's all mixed up.
You got that right. And I was just over there. She's falling for you, man.
No, she's infatuated with
No,
me.
she is in love with you. And you encouraged it. You must have. Teenage girl. And you're hitting on her the same day that you're supposed to marry my mother. What the hell kind of pervert are you?
Rick, are you gonna let me explain?
Explain what? Everybody saw it.
Nothing was going on.
Oh, yeah, nothing was going on? You were kissing.
Rick, it's not what you think.
Oh, man. Thorne and Rick, they're gonna kill each other.
I'm glad you decided to stop by.
I didn't know where else to go.
Have you talked to Thorne?
Yes.
What did he say?
He was caught red-handed. What could he say?
Well, he must have had some explanation.
Yes, he had many explanations. But the fact is, he was all over Kimberly, and the whole world saw. This is so humiliating. Thorne, of all people. I trusted him implicitly.
Have you talked to the kids?
I've been trying to get a hold of Rick.
He wasn't at the fashion show?
Yes, he was, but then he left. He probably thinks there's still going to be a wedding. Taylor, how do I explain this to him? He was so supportive of Thorne and me.
What about Bridget? Have you talked to her?
No. But I did talk to Kimberly.
You did?
I went over to her house.
How was she?
She thinks this is the real thing. She's completely smitten by Thorne.
That was quite a display we witnessed.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be a display.
What exactly was it?
It was beautiful.
Oh, so you're infatuated with Thorne.
No, this is not an infatuation.
Then what is it? Look, I know you're very angry with Brooke because of her involvement with your sister's death, and this would certainly be the perfect way to get back at her, wouldn't it? Seduce the man that she wants to marry.
That is not what I'm doing.
Then what is this all about?
Well, I would like to tell you, but I'm not sure that you would believe me. No one else has.
You're in love with him, aren't you?
Deeply.
Kimberly, there are significant problems being involved with an older man.
Because of my age and my lack of experience.
That's a very real consideration, yes.
Well, the only experience I am lacking is sexual. Other than that, I've been through more than women twice my age.
Exactly. How do you think Thorne feels about you?
Thorne is attracted to me.
Well, I can understand that, yes.
And Thorne is the only man that I want. And I think that we could have a future together.
He's in love with Brooke. He's in love with her. He's made that eminently clear.
Yes, but he is committed to a woman with a past of immorality and failed relationships. Thorne is not stupid. How long do you think that commitment will last?
So you think that you have certain values that Brooke is lacking, and Thorne might be attracted to those?
Not might. In all humility, I am a breath of fresh air compared to Brooke. I have no baggage.
You're very sure of yourself.
To a certain extent, yes. But when one is competing against Brooke Logan, one needs more than self-confidence.
One needs support.
From powerful people. Because Brooke has a powerful base of her own.
Brooke's power has always been her sexuality. I hope you won't take a page from her book.
Well, I would never take a chapter. But a page or two might not hurt.
Look, I can't imagine that Thorne is romantically involved with Kimberly.
I can't believe that either, Taylor. But then why did this happen?
Kimberly has been vulnerable. She's been grieving the death of her sister. And you put that with the fact that she already lives right next door to Thorne.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying this sounds like transference.
Yes, for Kimberly, but what about for Thorne?
Well, he's got this beautiful, vulnerable 19-year-old coming to him, reaching out to him for help, and then she suddenly finds herself desperately in love because he's this handsome, older, experienced man. Look, Thorne's mistake was that he didn't recognize that she was becoming infatuated with him.
Yes, that was a big mistake. My God, she's a year out of high school.
Do you really think it would hurt any less if she were the same age as him?
No. Thorne and I were beyond the issues of fidelity, or so I thought. I mean, it never crossed my mind that he would look at Kimberly or anybody else for that matter. I truly believed that he loved me and that he wanted me.
He probably still does.
Not as long as there's a 19-year-old around strutting her stuff.
Are you really being objective?
I've been fighting this battle with Bridget for a while now, trying to get her to change her feelings about Thorne and me. I even took her to Hawaii, and we stayed up all night talking about how much Thorne meant to me and what he could bring to my life and to hers. And I built this vision of a family that was so secure and had so much fulfillment. And I think that Rick understood that. He wanted that for me. So he trusted Thorne as much as I did. But Bridget needed more reassurance. She's been hurt many times, so she had to be certain. And I really thought that I was getting through to her. I begged for their faith, Taylor, and I really believed that they were going to give it to me. But then the curtain opened, and there was Thorne. The man I swore to my children would love me forever, in the arms of another woman. A woman that my son used to date. Now, how do I explain that to my children? How do I justify that?
Rick, I was not hitting on Kimberly.
Oh, what, she just threw herself at you?
Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
Yeah, well, from what I heard, your lips were plastered to hers, so don't you dare blame this on Kimberly. You're supposed to be the adult here. I trusted you, man. I believed in you. How could you betray us like this?
Rick, are you gonna let me talk? There is another side to this story.
I went to bat for you so many times. Defending you, fighting for you and Mom.
No, man, Rick, I'm telling you. I am totally loyal to your mother, okay? And we will be married.
How can she marry you? You're a walking lie. You're a skirt chaser. How'd it feel, Thorne? How'd it feel having that beautiful young body pressed up against you? Did it turn you on? Did it make you feel young again? You're scum.
Rick, you're gonna listen to me.
I defended you when nobody else in the family would. Because of my mother. Okay? And they thought she was sick. You're the one who's sick, Thorne.
Rick, I never hit on Kimberly, okay? Now you gotta believe that.
Oh, no. No, I'm through believing anything you ever have to say to me.
Rick, listen to me. Listen to me. Kimberly has been coming on to me for weeks, okay? And I have told her over and over that nothing would happen ever, never. Because, Rick, I am totally in love with your mother, man. Period.
You stay away from my mother, you hear me? Don't you go anywhere near her. Bridget was right. You don't belong in this house. And you sure as hell don't belong in this family.
You know what, Rick? You're right. I did make a mistake. But it had nothing to do with Kimberly. It had to do with Bridget, your sister. Because I should have moved in here weeks ago and none of this would be happening. Do you know what? I can't change that. But I'll tell you this. I am sick and tired of having you and your sister run my damn life. Well, your mother and I are going to be married whether you two like it or not. And I am going to be living in this house.
You can't justify Thorne's behavior to your children, especially Bridget.
Poor Bridget. This is gonna be so hard for her. How's she ever gonna trust a man after she watches her own mother get burned?
Well, that is something you're going to have to discuss with her at length, Brooke.
You know, I feel so foolish, Taylor, after all the wonderful things that I said to her about Thorne. My God, what am I gonna do?
What do you want to do?
I just want to forget any of this even happened.
I know you still love Thorne. You have a decision to make. And I'm not going to tell you it's impossible for you to ever work things out with Thorne. But you have to resolve this issue that you have with the children first. You've been betrayed. That's all they're going to remember. Especially after Thorne and Kimberly's pictures are splashed all over the cover of every tabloid all over the country. Bridget's friends are going to see that. Do you know how humiliating that's going to be for her?
And I am going to be there for her whenever she needs me.
She is going to need your support more than she ever has in her whole life.
Well, she's going to have it.
I know that, Brooke. You're a good mother. Just try to keep in mind, if you try to work on your relationship with Thorne, it's only going to complicate things. I'm telling you, if you put Thorne first this time, you are going to be doing that at the expense of your own children.
I've invested so much of myself in this relationship. I never thought I'd have a future without Thorne. You know, even if we do work this thing out that happened with Kimberly, and we do have a future together, what kind of future is that going to be for my children? And are they ever going to be able to accept him?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. What if they don't?
Well, then I know what I have to do. I just hope it never comes to that.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you think that this relationship between Brooke and Thorne will last?
No. That's why I cut him off from the family, because I couldn't stand by and watch him destroy himself. And that's exactly what will happen if he marries her.
I agree. And even if he doesn't end up with me, he should not be with Brooke. That's obvious.
He doesn't see that. And I'm afraid, unfortunately, things aren't going to change.
That's already changing.
Is it?
I'm young, and people, they don't take me very seriously. But when Thorne and I are together, there is a bond. And it is not just physical, it's spiritual. Thorne and I, we have something that brings us together more than just a physical attraction. We have Macy. She isn't gone. Her spirit lives in this house. It lives in Thorne's house, too. And that beautiful spirit that Macy has, it brings Thorne and I together. I know that she would want this. And deep down, I think that Thorne wants it too.
Well, that's a charming sentiment, but a bit naive. Relationships need more than guardian angels. I would be so happy if he were in love with any woman but Brooke. If he could just find someone that was kind and generous and loving the way Macy was with him. Maybe even someone like you. However, I must say, I have grave concerns about your age difference.
And I would be concerned if you didn't.
Would you now?
Yes. Look, Mrs. Forrester, I'm not going to ask for your permission to continue to see Thorne. I wouldn't do that to you. But I am going to ask you to keep an open mind. I'm good for your son. And deep down, I know that he is a complicated man with complicated hopes and dreams. And I can help him realize those dreams. Not by flaunting my body the way that Brooke would, but by building something that could last. And if this doesn't work out, it's not going to be because of my age. It'll be because it was simply not meant to be. Can you live with that?
You're an interesting young woman in spite of your age.
No, Thorne, you're not going near my mother ever again. It's finished. Accept it.
No, Rick, I'm sorry, I can't. Your mother and I have...
Are you hearing me? Are you listening to me? All right? It's finished. It's history. You're not gonna mess up my mother.
I'm not gonna mess her up, Rick.
you know
I'm
what?
gonna make her happy.
You're gonna use her, just like Ridge. And then you're gonna dump her for some chick like Kimberly.
Rick, you know that's not going to happen.
You wanna know what's gonna happen? You wanna know? Me and Bridget are gonna fight you to hell and back. We are gonna bury you. We will do whatever it takes to keep you away from my mom.
Rick, don't you dare.
No, man, it's over. It's over between you and my mom.
Rick, damn it.
No.
Rick.
Wait, me and Bridget come first with Mom. You want to fight that? You go right ahead, because you're gonna lose. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to your teen queen. You don't deserve Mom. All right? And we're gonna make sure she knows it every single day of her life, if need be. You heard me. You heard me. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Try yourself, Rick.
Gotta get a hold of yourself. You understand me? Rick!
Oh my God! What's going on? Get off of him! Get off! You okay? What are you doing to him?
He was just leaving.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Tell him to get out!
No, we're going to talk.
Okay, Mom? Either you tell him to go, or Bridget and I walk out that door and we never come back. I mean it.
So do I, Mother. No more excuses. It's Thorne or your kids. Make your choice.
When one outrageous scandal
How could you let yourself be photographed kissing Thorne Forrester?
leads to another,
Thorne betrayed you, Mother. Everybody saw it.
I'm sick and tired of listening to his lies and excuses.
You can't ask Rick and me to accept a man we don't trust.
what happens next
So what's it gonna be, Mother?
is everything
It's us or Thorne.
next week.
Everything.